Being on some chill. We go
Number 5.
to 100 real quick. Real quick. Whole squad on that real. 0 to 100 real quick. Real quick. Real quick.
Welcome you back to the $5 multi. You already know it's number one also Cal, aka Lisi, aka RIP to the Black Mamba and GG and the 7 other passengers on the helicopter accident. Today I'm joined by Nathan.
What up, man? It's your boy Easy Does It.
And I guess it's probably an easy segue into our first topic on today's pod, the life and death of Kobe.
Man, it was such a shock, eh? Like, man, it's hard to explain just how shocking it was, eh? Celebrities, come and go, they pass away all the time, but this is just someone that gave 20 years to the NBA, and I'm not gonna lie, it was tough that day, like just seeing, someone that you grew up watching, like. And I'm not gonna lie, I hated Kobe for a majority of his career. Yeah, I'm not gonna front, man. I'm a Celtics fan. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But in his later years, you kind of grew to respect, his game and how he dedicated, his life to basketball.
His PR towards the end of his career, like. So many people had him, even the narrative around him being a shitty teammate and all that sort of stuff. And then the way that he was able to turn that into less him being a shitty teammate, but more I'm a ruthless leader and you're either with me or you're going to get left behind.
Yeah. Well, I felt like he changed himself. Like, it seemed like, he just came across as an asshole. And I don't know, maybe it's because... just because he was so dominant and, there was the whole Kobe and Shaq beef, people, at one point, early mid-2000s, people had to pick sides, are you team Kobe or you team Shaq?
Yeah.
And, with the rape case and whatnot, I think Oh, wow, actually, the charges were dismissed and he settled in the civil suit, so the criminal case was dropped. So gave him a bad reputation.
Yep.
And it took some time for his image to recover from that. So that's why I think in the later years when people saw that his body was betraying him, it kind of it made people respect him a bit more. So. Yeah, and that's how I felt with Kobe. I didn't like him in the whole 2000s, but then the decade just gone. I started to respect him a bit more and what he did for basketball.
Yeah, no, definitely. And even for me, because I wasn't able to watch Kobe during his prime. I wasn't really into the NBA at that point. I sort of caught on towards the latter stages of his career and. Yeah, I guess one of the things that I sort of knew Kobe for was his relentlessness. And, you'd hear so many stories of the way that he trained and his dedication to the craft. And he didn't want to make it look as easy as, you would expect Kobe. So you'd expect the way Michael Jordan sort of played it off and the way that he was always smiling in front of cameras and he would just come out and be this beast. Whereas Kobe sort of let everyone in on how much work he was putting in and this is what it takes if you want to sort of try and climb that mountain. And
I don't know if you were watching basketball at the time, but in 2008 at the Beijing Olympics, Team USA, the Redeem team, they didn't win the gold without him. Yeah, so
that Spain game, I think I watched that one.
Yeah. Leading up to it, it was like the LeBron Melo show.
Yeah.
But then, when it came to the important game, the gold medal game against Spain, they gave the ball to Kobe and he did what he does,
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people that sort of crunch the numbers and say if you actually look at his shot percentage, he's not as clutch as everyone sort of remembers him, but those big time moments, I know it's kind of, for me, it's I when I watch the games. in the context of it all, like if he doesn't do those things, I don't think the Lakers have the rings that they ended up getting during his playing career.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think people look too much at the raw stats and base their opinion off that, but like they unfortunately beat the Celtics in 2010 in Game 7. Everyone looks at what he shot, like 6 from 24, 8 from 24 in the game, but
6 from 24, yeah.
Yeah, 6 from 24. That's what everyone brings up. But a couple of his baskets were really huge. Like I think he hit a jumper in crunch time right in Ray Allen's face. Back when they really needed a basket to try to keep him out. You can look at the raw numbers, but in my opinion, and I've always said this, like in all my time watching like NBA basketball, religiously, Kobe Bryant's the best contested shot maker I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that's like in the finals, you need players that just take shit shots because like the defense like ramps up to another level.
Yeah, exactly. And people be like, oh, Kobe never met a shot he didn't like, and why that's true, and a lot of players are like that, but difference between them and Kobe is that Kobe hits those shots at a high percentage compared to everyone else. Like, it was just crazy. Like seeing him in his prime, like, people would do their hardest, have a hand right on his face, and he'd just be, dumping fadeaways, right in their grill. And I also thought he did the flashiest in-game dunks that I've seen outside of Vince Carter. But yeah. I was about to say he was the best, but then I just remember now Vince Carter. Vince Carter got it done in game and in comp. So but I mean, back when he was rocking the 8 jersey, I guess he was a little more athletic, and but he really did some nice dunks. He liked to go reverse with the dunk, but I think just from a visual standpoint, I thought he was one of the best in-game dunkers I've seen.
What would you say is going to be Kobe's legacy for sort of people that are going to be getting into the NBA in like the next 5 years or so? Like, how should Kobe be remembered?
I think the Mamba mentality. I think that's his. That's his legacy. Like everyone knows that Mamba mentality, and it transcends basketball. So it's not just limited to putting in work on the basketball court. It's everything in life. So, and it's been a thing for a while. Like the Mamba mentality is it's a well-known thing.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be his greatest legacy in outside of his children.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the Mamba mentality, because I guess that's one of the things that I was always interested in following Kobe after the NBA was you'd heard a few, because I listened a lot to the Bill Simmons podcast, and you'd heard a few stories around how he sort of really dedicated himself and went with his Mamba mentality into what life was going to be like after basketball, and the way that he sort of really put his time into how he's going to invest his money and grow his business. Like I read somewhere yesterday that he had a investment group that were one of the investors of Epic Games. Yeah, ended up making Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
And I remember, man. Yeah, I mean that's a great move. And then I think they had Chris Sacca was on the Bill Simmons podcast, and he was saying things like, Kobe got his number at some dinner that they just both happened to be at, and then Kobe was like calling him at like 3 a.m. to sort of ask what are his thoughts on this book that he read, or this investment strategy that he'd been looking at.
I was listening to First Take today, and Max Kellerman said that Kobe Bryant, to him, from speaking with him, he had the most curious mind of anyone he ever met. Yeah. So those things that you brought up, like him calling up someone at 3 a.m. To see what their thoughts are on something, it makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
he's always willing to put everything into whatever he did. So, for 20 years it was basketball, and he gave it everything. And now, he had other things after he retired. So he had business ventures,
Yeah.
had his daughter's basketball team.
I guess that's one of the things. It was probably the most sad, that he was catching a helicopter to go to his daughter's basketball game, and unfortunately both of them didn't make it. And I think the other members on the helicopter were going to the same destination. So, but he sort of died doing what he loved, and that was being a father, which he had posted a lot about on social media.
It was hard, hearing that his daughter also passed with him, because you saw the stories where he said that after he retired, he didn't watch a whole lot of NBA basketball, rarely be seen at Laker games.
Yep.
And that, but through his daughter Gianna, she was
Yep.
the one that brought him back to basketball. So through her, like, being passionate about basketball and picking it up as a sport, that's what brought him back
Yeah.
to the game, and he was coaching them. And I saw he posted there's a team that they lost to by a couple of points the year before.
Okay.
And then this year they blew them out. They beat them by like 70, 80 points or something.
Damn.
Yeah, they ran up the score on them. So just the way he'd take his daughter to WNBA games, and
Yep.
you saw he'd go do interviews. He'd go on Kimmel, whatnot,
Yep.
and just speak about how his daughter's gonna crack WNBA. And do big things. It's a tragic day. And it was, unfortunately, it's gonna be one of those days where you're gonna look back at that day and you're gonna remember exactly where you were, what you're doing at the time. You found out Kobe Bryant was killed
At only age 41.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it, why it made such a massive impact, worldwide. It's just because everyone's like, Kobe's just getting his second life started.
In saying that, he lived a full life, and unfortunately, Gigi, who, I mean, from all accounts, was a real talent.
Mm.
And did you see UConn? Because she sort of openly voiced that she wanted to play at UConn.
Yeah.
And they gave her a jersey. It was a last night's game.
Yeah. I saw that. So, that was a good gesture. And, you see the NBA teams also as well doing the 24-second shot clock.
Yeah.
And also taking the 8-second violation. So, I think, and, I see a lot of people wearing 24 and 8. And Beatles wearing 24 in their game today. Scored 24 points. It hit everyone.
Yeah, it was weird. Even at the Australian Open, Djokovic was quite emotional, talking about Kobe Bryant and the effect that Kobe had on him. Some of the guys from the NFL getting ready for Super Bowl. It's like he's one of the rare athletes that sort of transcends his own sport and becomes pop culture.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just basketball fans, it's just people worldwide were in shock and caught up about it. Like, for me personally, like I said before, I hated Kobe for most of his career, but even when I found out news, I was pretty caught up about it. And just because, when I think of guys like Kobe, Shaq, Allen Iverson, those guys, those are the players I grew up watching. They were the biggest stars of my childhood. So, when they're taken like that, when you expect them to live until they're 80, 90 years old, and he's taken at 41, it's really sad. And I feel for his wife and his and his 3 children that are still here with us, because he gave 20 years to basketball. Although that's cool for the basketball fans that he's dedicated himself to his craft. It also meant that he spent a lot of time away, from his family, and committing himself full time as a father. So when he retired, although it was a sad day for basketball fans, it was great for his own family, because they got their father back full time, and he was able to, and he was able to do things that he wasn't able to before.
And he really committed to being a father.
From all accounts, it looks like he embraced it. He was enjoying it. It's been 4 years since he retired, and and now that's they've lost their father, or well before they should have. But it's still sad just thinking about it. But people are gonna be honoring Kobe for a long time, and people are making calls to retire 8 and 24, make the 24th of August Kobe Day. Change the NBA logo to Kobe Bryant. So there's and also he was gonna be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. And this would have been one of the greatest classes ever, because it's him, KG, Tim Duncan.
Oh damn.
So and now we won't get to hear him speak. So
that was one of the things I got teary watching Shaq's tribute, where he was saying he's not going to get the chance to really rib Kobe and sort of like just have playful banter with him just before his Hall of Fame induction. I feel for Shaq, man, because Kobe and Shaq, the two names are synonymous with each other. Like when you think of Shaq, you also think Kobe, and vice versa. Those two are going to be forever connected when it comes to basketball. So 100%.
So when Kobe passed, like I was thinking, one of the first things I thought was like, oh man, I wonder how Shaq's gonna react to this. And it was good that they they put that thing together, NBA TV, for them to have to sit down.
Well, look, we'll leave it there for now before it becomes a memorial podcast. We'll move to other NBA news.
Let's slide in the mood, eh? Slide in the mood.
The NBA All-Star starters were named this week. What were your thoughts around who got named and who didn't make it?
Do you have the starters with you?
Yep, for the East, we've got Giannis, who's going to be a captain, and then 4 other starters are going to be Embiid, Siakam, Walker, and Trae Young. And then for the West, we've got LeBron James as the second captain, and his the 4 starters from the West. Outside of that will be Davis, Doncic, Harden, and Leonard.
I mean, I never really have an issue with the starters. The starters are fan vote is responsible for half of the vote, I believe. The weighting on the fan vote is half, and then thing get quarter each. The media and the players. So personally, I wouldn't have Trae Young.
Neither.
As an all-star, maybe as a reserve, because I guess the East is a little thin when it gets there. But but at the end of the day, Trae Young's he's a star in the league. He's an offensive star. He's horrible on defense, but this is what the fans want. They want to see deep threes. They want to see flashy moves, and Trae Young gives that. He's the only guy that I have a problem out of all the starters, actually.
Just because like the Hawks aren't even doing that good.
No, they got like the worst. They got the worst record in the Eastern Conference. So for me, I probably, even though Adebayo was in there, I would have had Butler in for to represent the Heat as a starter, because they're third. Yeah, the only thing with that is I believe Jimmy Butler is listed as a forward, and
Oh,
that's why, yeah, so that's how he missed out. But I'm not too sure because I see that like a lot of people are coming out saying that he is the biggest starter snub is Jimmy Butler, but I'm not sure if they understand that he's listed as a forward.
forward. Ah,
And yeah, and for me, who's he gonna take out of the starters? Like, who's is he gonna take out Giannis, Embiid, or Siakam? I don't think so.
but they shouldn't even have forwards and guards anymore.
I see the argument for that because of the way that the game is now, but
Yeah.
I like it, that positions matter. I didn't even like the front court and back court thing now. Like, I liked it back when it was two guards, two forwards, and a center. It's understandable with the way the game is now that they changed it to front court, back court. But yeah, I'm happy with the starters. I think all these guys are deserving. But yeah, just personally, I wouldn't have Trey Young in there. I would.
Yeah, because if this was a real game, Trey
Mm,
Young would be sitting on the bench and Butler would be in at the two.
yeah, yeah. For me personally, I'd look at someone like Kyle Lowry or is Ben Simmons listed as a point guard? Come on, man, he should be listed as a point guard. Yeah, just because he's what 6'9", 6'10", and
Yeah.
he plays point guard. Put him as point guard and have him start. Yeah, I'm good with the starters. What do you think about the reserves? Who do you think is going to be a reserve?
Well, they've got Danny who they've got as the predicted Eastern Conference reserves and the Western Conference reserves.
Uh huh.
So in this list, they've got for the East, Adebayo, Bradley Beal. No, Bradley Beal's there. Butler, Kyle Lowry, Sabonis, Ben Simmons, and Tatum.
When it comes to Sabonis, I think the Pacers deserve to have one All-Star in there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna come down to like, do you have Sabonis there or do you have Brogdon? Like who's more deserving out of the two? I actually think Sabonis is more deserving than Brogdon. Brogdon's missed a lot of games, although he's having a great season, but he's missed a lot of games.
Isn't he kind of cooled down from his hot start?
Yeah, and he's kind of cooled down as well. But he's still having a great year. Indiana having a great year. Even without, even though Oladipo hasn't played yet. So
Yeah,
they definitely deserve
an
an
all-star.
All-Star there. Out of those, I think Simmons is definitely going to be one. Butler for sure. I think Adebayo deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, I think he should be guaranteed, but I'm still not sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be one of Tatum or Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, and when it comes to that, it's Tatum for sure. Like, yeah. But when it comes to Beal and I'd have Lowry there personally, but
Yeah,
I'm
same.
still not. Yeah, but when it comes to Beal, what about Chris Middleton, who just dropped 50 today,
51.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 51, and yeah, like like I was saying, off the pod, like he's like low key having a great season.
Yeah.
He's actually in the 50-40-90 club right now. If the
Yeah.
season ended today, yeah, he's averaging over 20 points.
And if the Pacers deserve to have a representative because they're coming in sixth, then the team with the 41-6 record, smashing everyone, deserves more than just one representative.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're leading your conference, you have to have at least two All-Stars.
Yeah.
If you're leading your conference, but these guys are leading the entire NBA, like by far.
By far, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got to have at least two All-Stars, and I think Middleton. I think if he didn't miss a few games, like he'd definitely be in there. Like what he's doing now, he's not even playing 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, like Giannis is barely playing 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Bucks as a whole just really managing those minutes.
Yeah, but that's because they're so good and they're just like beating the hell out of teams that they have that luxury of like having them sit out fourth quarters and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, Giannis
Uh,
didn't play today, did he? In Chris Middleton's
no,
51-point game.
yeah. Him and Bledsoe got the job done. Who's also
Yeah.
having a good season. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I think Bucks definitely need to have a second All Star, and I think Middleton should be there.
Well, hopefully he makes that step up. I think one of the main criticism of Middleton is that he's not an elite athlete. So
Yeah,
in the finals he kind of gets found out.
yeah. What about Zach LaVine? Do you think he has a chance to get on the reserves list for the East?
Nah, I think Zach LaVine's one of those good stats in a bad team guy.
I agree. I mean, what has he done to prove that that's not the case? But yeah, did you see how he's been invited to the dunk contest, but he's saying, get me in the All-Star game and I'll consider.
Why doesn't he just go to the dunk contest? Because he wins whatever he does anyway. Like,
yeah, they're gonna gift him another dunk contest.
he can do six of the same dunk and still win. So, he should just go and clean up.
I mean, this year's All-Star game's in Chicago.
Go and represent.
Go put on for your city, man. So that's the East. I'm cool with that, but I would, instead of Beal, I'd have Middleton.
And then from the West, they got Jokic, George, Gobert, Ingram, Lillard, Chris Paul, and Westbrook.
I'm good with that list, except for Paul George. He hasn't played enough games. He's missed a lot of time, and for the numbers that he's currently putting up, it's not enough to separate him from other people that deserve.
Well, who would you replace him with?
I would look at someone like DeMar DeRozan or Devin Booker. Did you say Devin Booker? Yeah, I'd look at Devin Booker, DeMar DeRozan. Like both of them, they're having great seasons, although they're not having the same level of success that the Clippers.
Yeah, like they're right up there with the Lakers. The Lakers get two starters. The Lakers are 36-10, and then the Clippers are 33-14.
Maybe because I'm low key a PG hater, so maybe that's why. Yeah, maybe that's why it's so hard for me to like be convinced that he's an all-star this year. But I wouldn't have him there. I would have Devin Booker in there. I think Devin Booker he's balling out this year, and although the team's not winning, like the team isn't as talented as someone like the Clippers.
Yeah.
Like I think if you put Devin Booker on that team, like switch Paul George and Devin Booker, they're gonna have a very similar record to what they've got right now.
Yeah, look, and that's one of the things, like you need to sort of take the roster as a whole.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on from the NBA All-Star Game then to the big game of this week, the Super Bowl. Who do you got and why?
I still think, the head says 49ers, but the heart, because, Chiefs are my second team.
Yeah.
The heart says Chiefs. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be interesting. Like, I actually don't know what's going to happen in the game. Because I don't know if Mahomes is just gonna continue being God on the football field, or if this beastly 49ers defense is gonna do what they've been doing the whole season.
I'm leaning towards 49ers. There's the old adage that defense wins championships.
Yeah.
Previously we said the Ravens were the best offense in the NFL, and they were breaking all these records, and then they ran into the Titans and fell short. And I just think the Chiefs, even though they were able to get the job done against the Titans last week, I don't trust their defense against a more crafty Shanahan.
Yeah, I'm on board with you on that, and it's just. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many rule changes the NFL makes to the game to, encourage more offense. That saying, defense wins championships, will always stay true. Yeah, and you see it. Yeah, every single year, the same thing is. It's the defense that wins you. Like, the offense will get you there, but
Yeah.
then when it's time to get down and dirty, it's the guy in the trenches, defensive line and the secondary that's gonna get you over the line.
Definitely. And look, we've been saying like the whole year now that the 49ers have the fastest defense in the NFL. And that's probably the best foil you can get for. Well, I guess you can't nullify or stop the Chiefs, but slow them down as much as possible.
No, for them it's just making sure they stuff the Chiefs on third down, force them to punt, and then 40. I agree with you. I didn't trust the Chiefs defense to get the crucial stops, and I think 49ers is just going to do what they did a couple of weeks ago against the Packers. They're just going to run the ball, use up all the possession, tire out that Chiefs defense, and they're just going to slug it out, and it's not going to be the prettiest game, but can't shake the feeling that the 49ers are going to come out on top.
And like I think I said in the last pod that Derrick Henry, even though they shut down Derrick Henry, that wasn't a fresh Derrick Henry. That's Derrick Henry that's had like 60 to 70 touches in the last 3 weeks. Like it was a week. So like to come up against an offense that has had a week off and is a lot more varied in their attack, I think the Chiefs defense was made to look better than they actually are.
Yeah. For sure. Derrick Henry's back, finally gave out after carrying those boys so long. But I agree. They were like super horrible last year, and then they became decent this year. But I don't know. You still can't trust that Chiefs defense.
Yeah. The other topic I wanted to bring up, the NBA All-Stars were named earlier this week, but also in the NRL, we've got the Moldy All-Stars. Did any particular selection stand out to you for the Moldy All-Stars, Nathan?
Yeah. One particular one did, because someone was selected, and I don't know, it's big news to me that this guy has some sort of Moldy heritage. Nelson Asofa-Solomona, I think the surname kind of gives it away. Like, it's a bit of a shock, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I think because how they like sometimes like for Moldy teams they'll name the like what tribe they're from. And like Ngati Porou and all this stuff. Yeah. And then they had next to Nasa Asofa-Solomona Koko Ngati. and it's more funny or tragically funny because when they asked him if he'd play for Toa Samoa, he said, like my parents came to New Zealand for a better life, and I didn't begrudge him playing for the Kiwis because he's also a New Zealander, but to then play for the Māori.
I don't know. It kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. When he made those comments about Taupo and that choosing to represent Toa Samoa.
Yeah.
I don't hold a grudge against him for playing for the Kiwis, but I felt like his comments regarding those choosing to play for family heritage came across as a little condescending.
And the other bit of thing that I'm like sour about is then the man has the nerve to walk around with Samoan tattoo on his forearm.
Is he Māori?
Well, look, at this stage, I've seen no reports of anyone saying he's Māori, and he's getting blasted on social media. So I would assume if he had Māori family, they would have come out and be like, "Oh, he is Māori."
Yeah, but because I was just reading a couple of articles today, and it sounded like both his parents came from Samoa.
Well, I think that's what he was alluding to. But then I said that his mother had Scottish heritage or Irish or.
Yeah, but you know that's how it's like the Samoan Germans. Like there's a lot of them that aren't full Samoan that are from Samoa. It's like Samoan Chinese. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we've had Chinese and Germans in Samoa. I didn't see too many Scottish people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, it's just it's the biggest mystery in the NRL right now is Big Nelson. Is he Māori, and is Curtis Scott is he gonna be playing next year, or is he gonna be in jail? Yeah, these are the two biggest mysteries in rugby league right now.
Well, Nelson Asofa-Solomona lucky he's not in jail himself after his incident at La Favela in Bali.
Mr. UFC, man. Swinging for the fences, man.
He was going Deontay Wilder at the clubs.
Yeah, man. Yeah, full on windmill technique. Yeah, man, Bali, it's a cursed place.
Hey, I'm going there for a mate's wedding later on this month. So La Favela, here I come.
Yeah, well, a mate of mine went there, and he said that bar, Asofa-Solomona and Folau and that got into trouble.
Yeah.
Apparently, like that stuff happens all the time there. Yeah, so I think it's got a bit of a reputation. So I guess,
There was another fight there. Didn't Fifita? I think Fifita got into a fight there as well.
Yeah, I think he was around that area. Yeah, where he got arrested. Yeah, because he allegedly punched or slapped that bouncer. But did you see the picture of the bouncer?
The little kid.
Well, I don't think he was a little kid, but he was the height of a little kid. But yeah, like if that guy is like security, it's like I guess anyone can work as security in Bali. I would say be careful when you go over there. But if you're on the drink, you're feeling a little aggressive, you can go let out your frustrations over there at that club.
Just try and get there early, because the chances are that they would already be in the midst of escorting someone else out.
Yeah, just go there during the NRL season, because you don't want to go when it's the off season and
they're all there.
Yeah, and then you don't want to try someone like Big Nelson, because come on, man. Yeah, let's be honest, you'll get flogged.
Yeah. As much as I like to rag on Nelson for playing for the Māori All Stars, having no Māori heritage, I probably wouldn't say it to his face.
Yeah. Let's be honest there. Yeah.
All right. In other big news pertaining the rugby league world, your best friend Israel Folau has signed on to play with the Catalan Dragons.
My boy Izzy. Yeah, that was a bit of a random shock, right? Like, I had no idea that he was in talks to sign with a Super League club. I thought they had they were on board with the NRL stance and said he's not welcome. But
the board were, and that's why he signed with the only French team in the Super League.
Okay. Yeah, but I read they've made it clear that, hey, like don't be like posting up their religious stuff, otherwise you're gone. Yeah, so that's why in Folau in his statement, he said that. Yeah, he said
I'm a proud Christian. My beliefs are personal. My intention is not to hurt anyone, and I will not be making further public comment about them.
I actually think that's pretty sad that they've censored him to that point. Like, I mean, people can say he brought it upon himself, but at the end of the day, like, the level of censorship that this man's getting just for professing his religious beliefs, I think it's quite sad. And then did you hear about Wiggins' announcement after the Folau signing? Yeah.
The Wigan social justice warriors. I mean, Wigan Warriors. Have come out and they're playing the Catalan Dragons on the 22nd of March, and they've officially announced that as Wigan's Pride Day.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't mind them like having a Pride Day, but just the timing of it all, it just sounds like they've just done it just to troll
Yeah.
Folau.
And I guess for them, like to come out with straight away, like to me, just harks of being like a cheap marketing ploy.
Yeah,
Like unless they've always had their Pride Week on this particular date,
yeah.
or even like I'd hate for this to be their first ever Pride Week or Pride Day.
That's what it sounds like to me. Like, they heard that Folau was gonna sign with Catlins, so they were like, hey, let's have Pride Day.
Yeah,
Let's celebrate Pride Day, in this state. Like, I don't know. I think that's pretty poor, like trolling someone for their religious beliefs, and
yeah,
like, when there was that whole thing the past week about Sonny Bill Williams, how they were in negotiations with him because he refused to wear some of like the sponsors
yep.
on
Thanks.
yeah, and and he did that with the Blues, like he taped it up, and he never got the level of criticism that Folau has had. Yeah, and although it's different scenarios, but
Yep.
they've largely accepted that, hey, like this goes against what Sonny Bill believes in,
Yeah.
and they're not trolling him or anything. They're not gonna say, hey, like at the post match interview, they're not gonna put a bear in his hand, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
give him the champagne shower or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and that's kind of what annoys me with what Wiggins done, is like I don't think it's genuine, like them
Yeah.
wanting to celebrate Pride thing. I think, yeah, they just saw it as like, hey, let's troll Fallout,
Well,
and
yeah.
yeah, get some good PR out of it as well.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. We'll see if they had a Pride Day last year and take it from there.
I just hope he scores at least a hat trick in that game.
Yeah, that
and
that would be
let's see
so
how.
good.
But I wish him all the best, and I'm happy that someone gave him a chance.
Yeah,
Uh,
same. And hopefully, he just carves up, and
yeah,
then gets more contracts.
yeah, for sure.
All right, sweet. Well, that ends our weekly review of sports. We'll transition into our multis this week. What have you got? How you deducting $5 from your bank account?
Yeah, well, I mean, I apologize for last week's multi because I placed bets on events that they still haven't happened
Still,
yet. Like, like I think I bet on Derek Lewis' fight, and that's not until next week.
yeah,
And yeah, it's not until next weekend. And also the Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl.
yeah, which isn't until beginning of next week. But
Yeah,
I sorted it out. Yeah, your boys got you. So don't worry, man. This multi, it's all happening within, in less than a week. So here I go. The first, and it's a 5-leg multi as well. So I'm telling you, this is guaranteed money. Okay, so the first leg is Novak Djokovic. How do you say his name properly? Like, honestly.
Well, between me and the Serbian community, I hope he's Serbian. I just say Djokovic.
Yeah, Djokovic. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I've got him to beat Roger Federer 3-1.
Ooh,
That's the first leg.
exactly 3-1.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and so that's tomorrow. Zach LaVine for the Bulls, they got the Pacers tomorrow. I've got him to get under 3.5 assists.
Okay.
So that's money. He's averaging 3.9 assists for the season, and the last 10 games 3.1. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this guy don't like passing. And even if he does pass, his teammates can't get the buckets. That's why they're trash. So that's the second one. Third leg, Travis Kelce, Super Bowl. He's going to get 2 or more touchdowns. Mahomes' favorite target, he's gonna get it done, just like he did against the Texans.
Okay.
Okay, and now, this one, the next leg, betting with my heart and my head too. I think they're gonna win, but I got the Blues beating the Chiefs head to head.
Yep.
Okay, and then the last one is a head to head. I've got the Oklahoma City Thunder beating the Sacramento Kings. Yeah. Okay, and so that is, if you just, invest $5 of your hard-earned money, you're gonna get a whopping $1,210. Hey man, why are you laughing, man? Five legs, man. That's all it takes. 5 legs to make a $1,200 profit.
What's the what leg are you most worried about other than all 5 of them?
I'm not really worried about either of them, but I would say, if there was one where I'm on the fence about, there's a chance that it might not hit, is maybe Travis Kelce scoring 2 touchdowns. Yeah, just because, 49ers defense, they're pretty nasty, so.
I was gonna say that was probably the one I'd be most nervous about as well.
Yeah. So, that's the other one. The other ones, I think it's done deal. So, yeah, 1,200. Let's go, baby.
All right, I got my one. This one's 7 legs. Only because I don't have any
7.
I don't have any super expensive Kelce getting 2 touchdown legs like your one. But I've got, in the first game, I've got the Pacers to win by more than 11 against the Chicago Bulls. I've got Grizzlies in a head-to-head versus the Knicks.
Yeah.
I haven't had much luck betting on the line against the Knicks, so I'm just going to go head-to-head. I've got Kyrie to score over 26.5 points against the Pistons.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
I got the Jazz in a head-to-head versus the Spurs.
Yep.
I've got Oklahoma City Thunder plus 1.5 against the Kings. I think they're going to win, but I put a plus 1.5 in case they lose by 1 point. I've got Houston in a head-to-head versus the Trailblazers to avenge their loss last time they played.
This is a tough one, man.
Yeah, that's probably the one that I'm most worried about. And then finally, because I wanted to end it on an easy bet, I got 49ers minus 1.5 versus the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I reckon they're going to win by at least a touchdown or more.
Okay. Not too bad.
So you place $5 on that, and you'll be calling them up to cash out your $467.45.
Nah, I'll take that back, bro. This multi's trash, bro.
What?
What sort of return is that, man?
Man, well, I was gonna make it. I was gonna add another multi. I'm going back for my second cricket game on Saturday, and Galisi over 100 runs, but I was only paying $1.01. So, unfortunately, I couldn't add that to the multi.
Oh yeah. I would take that bet. Galisi 100 runs if it was the bowling stats. You're pretty expensive, bro. So, yeah, I would understand it being a 101.
I'll tune in next week then. I'll come in with my update, my bowling stats and my betting stats, and we'll set the betting line for my third game.
Hey man, you need to get Willie to your game. Vlog your innings.
Nah, he doesn't have the camera to catch. But I guys haven't already seen it. Put a description in Willie's vlog. He came to my debut cricket game, and hopefully we can get him down for the return. All right, Nathan, we'll end it there. Did you have any final comments?
No, just rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, Gigi Bryant, and the rest of the victims. Yeah, that's probably the only thing I'm really thinking of when it comes to sports. Past couple of days. So.
Fair point. Well, from me, it's a big weekend this weekend in terms of Super Rugby returning. We'll be doing a podcast tomorrow, or the day that this airs. So tune in for that. Otherwise, we'll be back again to make fun of Nathan's $1,000 plus multis on the next pod.
Let's go Blues. Better never
Adios.
stops, baby.